Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so as promised, here is my review of the Ender 3 V3 no suffix model after a couple weeks of ownership and of fairly heavy use. I currently have 6 days and 12 hours roughly print time on the machine, which equates to about 150, I believe around 155, 156 hours, something like that. So I didn't quite get to the 200 that I wanted to, but I did want to get an update out there after the couple weeks here. So fairly heavy use on it, given the short amount of time. I have completed quite a few prints on it. Most of those prints being stuff with more than one item per plate. One thing I have noticed is first layers are absolutely great. I've had no issues with bed adhesion except for I believe one little piece on one of them. Didn't want to adhere, and what that was, it was first time printing PETG after printing PLA a bunch, and I hadn't cleaned the build plate after about 5 or 6 prints. So more likely user error than any error with the machine itself. Quality has been absolutely phenomenal. On par, if not better than my Bamboo A1. I've been extremely happy with the machine so far. As far as speed goes, it is not as fast as my K1 Max. My K1 Max is faster, but it is faster than the A1. I ran some comparative times here. Slicer times for me have been fairly accurate with my K1. They have generally been within 10 or 15 minutes, and same with my Bamboo machine. They have always been within 10 minutes as far as slicer times goes. The K1 I use Orca Slicer. The Bamboo machine, obviously I use Bamboo Studios. As far as the Ender 3 V3 goes, I have not yet ported over any settings or anything like that over to Orca, so I have been doing everything off of Creality print, which is terrible for slicer times. I have regularly been finishing anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes early compared to what the slicer was going to tell me. So, pretty impressive. And this is all pretty much using default settings. I haven't really tuned or modified or changed anything. As far as flow rates go, I mean, the thing has been flowing great. I haven't changed any settings, or I haven't even ran any flow tests or stuff like that on it. I probably should to give you guys some good numbers on it. But I have not been having issues with PETG or PLA, even at 300 millimeters a second. The thing just takes it and keeps on going. This unicorn nozzle and hot end assembly that they did on this machine is absolutely amazing, especially for the price point of $389. I find that this machine is going to be very hard to beat, as long as you are wanting to do single color prints. So this here frog is one that I did off of that one. There's not a huge overhang in the front here, but you can see that it is incredibly smooth and pretty good. I mean, it's a decent overhang, nothing crazy, probably around 30 or so degrees down here on the bottom. Much smaller degrees as it gets up higher. As far as quality and crispness around the eyes and stuff like that, it has been great. Layer lines and stuff like that have been smooth and consistent. I don't have signs of over extrusion. I don't have signs of under extrusion, even in the long sprints. Seams are noticeable, but I mean that's to be expected. They're not blaringly obvious though, as they are on some other machines and stuff like that. So here, as a comparison, I loaded up the same file into my Bamboo A1, my K1 Max, and the Ender 3 V3. The slicer times are all almost exactly an hour apart. The K1 Max being the fastest, which I have sliced in at 5.5 hours, 5 hours and 34 minutes to be exact. Then the Creality K1 is coming up at 6 hours and 26 minutes. And like I say, I have ran this G-code file on this one, and I have been finishing around 6 hours and 10 minutes, roughly. So to be that close to the enclosed XY machine is impressive, and this is also with PETG. And then as far as the A1 goes, even with my tweaked settings and stuff that I've done on this machine to get times down a little bit, it is still giving me a 7.5 hour print on the same exact thing. Same flow rate max, etc. So it's the machine itself is just slower. So overall, that's pretty well my review as far as speed goes on the V3. And the other thing I did mention that I was going to update you guys on was sound level. In my initial unboxing, I know I had my K1 Max running in the background, kind of skewing the results. So actually right now I have the V3 running in the background. You can hear it a little bit, but nothing major. With the phone about 6 inches away, we're about 58 decibels, something like that. So pretty quiet. And then as you get the phone about 3-4 feet away, it does drop to about 50 decibels. So that volume does not travel very far. Really, it's as quiet as close to. It's a little bit louder than the A1 if you're familiar with the sound levels on one of those. So overall, as far as sound levels, being the same print head, similar print head as the K1 Max, they've done some major improvements to this fan to make it quiet down. Biggest thing I imagine is from the front fan on the K1 is the primary fan, and on the V3 they have added in a second fan. So they have that front fan and they have a back fan for part cooling. So they've done something different with the fan there, and then by adding in that second fan, able to actually make everything a bit quieter. So yeah, that is, as far as sound levels go, very happy with the machine. Interrupting this video here, I did want to show you guys a couple of the modifications I have done to the V3. Nothing major, basically just getting rid of that factory spool holder. I have instead gone with a longer piece of PTFE tube coming out of the bottom and moving it over to another rail that will, if you guys have seen my other videos, you will see, you guys are familiar with my kind of my filament routing system that I have up to my machines. So I have it kind of go into that to work well with that. And the big thing I have noticed with that longer stretch of PTFE tube and going into a fixed location, as that printer comes down in the original unboxing video where it was unspooling the filament, it basically just takes that excess and leaves it in that PTFE tube and doesn't spit any of it out. So that is absolutely what pretty much anyone with one of these machines should do. Highly recommend it. It's been working extremely well since that change. And other than that, I have really not had to do anything else to it. The only thing else I may plan to do is affix the Nebula cam to the machine instead of having it on the tripod. I'm going to add in some quick time lapses here of the prints that I've done on this machine, and kind of give you an overall of what it looks like. I do have the Nebula cam set up on it. It does kind of show the A1 in the background a couple times, showing the same print, and give you an example of actually how much faster it is doing on the same settings as each other. But yeah, overall, my 2-week review on this machine so far is definitely go for it if you're on the line on getting one. I've encountered no issues or any reasons to stray away from it. I've lubricated the rails once, around 100 hours. Other than that, the thing has absolutely needed nothing. The bed's still tight, the hot end's still tight, everything still feels great, which really shouldn't have an issue until over 1,000 hours, which at that point I'll likely get another update out there once we get to that point. And if you guys have any other questions on this machine or want to see anything specific being printed on it or anything like that, feel free to let me know, and I'll throw up a short or another video or anything of that sort. If you want to see any specific area of a teardown or something like that, I could probably arrange that, as long as I don't have any big print jobs coming up. Anyway, that wraps up the video today. Thanks for sticking around. I will throw some affiliate links down below for the printer itself if you guys are interested in purchasing one, as well as the filaments used in the time lapses in this one. Again, if you liked the video and you enjoyed it, feel free to like and subscribe. And as always, leave a comment down below if you liked anything specific or have any questions. I try to respond within an hour or two always. So thank you guys very much, and have a great day.